Hello and welcome back to Grassroots Crypto. Today I'll be looking at THORCHain from a node perspective, and this is important to understand as this is where a lot of the work happens. If you haven't already checked out my previous video, have a look at the THORCHain Overview before you get into this video. So in today's video, I'll be expanding more on the THORNode stack that is written here within the THORCHain documents. Here we have a very high-level diagram of a THORCHain node, otherwise known as a THORNode. There are currently 36 nodes in ChaosNet, and in this video I'll be going over the main components and what role they play in the network. And the idea is I want to build on the information that's contained here within the THORNode stack, which is contained within the THORCHain documents site. For the non-technical people, a THORNode is a complex set of interrelated services that need to be highly available and always on. Thus, it needs to run 24/7 and have a degree of redundancy to cater for any failures within the system. They require intense CPU resources and massive amounts of storage, like terabytes of storage, in order to operate. As you can imagine, they're not cheap to run since most are hosted within a cloud solution. So let's run through what is in a THORNode and what each component does. First, we have the Thor-daemon. Among other things, this is the validator for the THORNode blockchain. If this server stops, then this network won't participate within the validation and the consensus rules for the THORCHain blockchain. It's a very important service that needs to be kept running. Then we have the Thor-api. This allows real-time data to be taken directly from the THORCHain blockchain for other services to consume. Something that generally the end user won't interact with, but it's an important part of the network. Next, we have what most end users will interact with, at least indirectly, which is Midgard. Midgard is the primary information interface between the THORCHain network and end user systems. All of the dashboards that you would be used, like THORCHain.net, the Delphi Digital, stuff like that, they all source their data from Midgard. This is a near real-time system, so not as direct as the Thor-api, but it is close enough. As Midgard is hosted within every node, dashboards such as the THORCHain.net or the Delphi might use a specific node to source its data from, or upon initiation may also use a random node that it gets from the seed servers. Next we have Bifrost. Bifrost, like the meaning of the word, it's the bridge between chains. It connects THORCHain to external chains like Binance chain or Bitcoin. It deals with converting chain-specific data to a standardized format that THORCHain understands and vice versa. So when it observes information that happens on, say, the Binance chain that it's interested in, it will take information, translate it so it's understood within the THORCHain network, and do the reverse process as well for when transactions need to move out. It also initiates the TSS module so that transactions can be signed for when funds move in and out of the network. This is how a THORNode knows to attend the TSS committee, as explained in the previous video. Each THORNode has to run a full node of the chain that it wants to connect to. Currently in ChaosNet, it interacts with Binance chain, so each THORNode runs a full node of the Binance chain. When Bitcoin is integrated, which is just around the corner, each THORNode would need to run a full Bitcoin node as a part of its setup. When Ethereum is introduced, it would need to run a full Ethereum node, and so on for each chain that THORCHain connects to. The last component I wanted to talk about, as indicated in the last video, is the Yggdrasil Vault. Each THORNode has a Yggdrasil Vault and also has the primary key for that. And this is where funds are stored, specifically for swaps. But in this vault, there would be Binance chain assets. When Bitcoin comes on, there'll be a Bitcoin assets, so on and so forth. So while the THORNode does have the primary key for the funds held in this vault, so for the Binance chain address and the Bitcoin address or whatever chain's added, Remember that a THORNode operator has to bond in, which is sending out a very large amount of root to the Yggdrasil Vault before it can be, you say, initialized and established within the network, or even churned in. So by design, the amount of rune that the THORNode has to put in is always larger than the amount of funds held in the Yggdrasil Vault. Thus, the THORNode operator always has more to lose here than it does to gain by stealing the funds. Because if it does try to steal the funds or do anything funky, it will immediately lose all of its bond. As I said, the bond here is always going to be worth more than the funds it can control within the Yggdrasil Vault. I hope that helps give you a broad overview of a THORNode and all the components that run within it. If you found this useful, please like the video and subscribe, and feel free to put comments down below. Thank you, and until next time.